Good morning. Today we are visited by our shop owner, Jared. Jared, how are you this morning?
Great, how are you?
I am fantastic. Now, I have a kind of a broad topic, and I think some clients have encountered this and they may not know how to proceed. But let's talk about artwork etiquette as it pertains to finishing somebody else's tattoo. Sometimes they can't get a hold of their artist. Is that an acceptable time to then start working on somebody else's tattoo?
So this whole thing comes from, I guess, kind of an old school perspective or tradition, or code. I guess that's a better, an old school code that you just don't work on other people's shit, right? So there's a lot of artists that will automatically refuse that because they're like, well, I'm honoring the code. I'm not going to work on your shit. But the problem with that is some people literally don't have a choice. You know what I mean? Like let's say they made a bad choice and their artist is doing a shitty job, or the artist is canceling on them and not doing their work, or they disappeared, or you know what I mean. So there's that code is pretty ridiculous, because some people just need help. The times when it's unethical or against that code, I think is more so, you're taking advantage of somebody's talent and then going somewhere cheaper, or you know what I'm saying? Like you've used that artist for some sort of reason, and then the client has something to gain, basically.
So, say the client booked several sessions with an artist, got the line work down, but has decided that it would be cheaper for them to go have somebody else finish their tattoo. Is that something that we see happen?
Oh, that definitely happens. I mean, I think everybody's had it happen to them at some point. That's the reason why we do things like deposits and have people commit, or that's part of the reason. But I would say that's the number one reason why that little rule was put in place is just people taking advantage.
So when we're booking like a larger tattoo, we book out all of their appointments. So people know exactly when they're going to come in for their next session and when their last session is. Do you feel like we see some incompleted art just because at other shops there might not be that structure and schedule? They might not be able to get a hold of their artist and are just wanting to finish this piece.
Yeah, 100%. Because one of the most common complaints that I hear from other people is, sadly, unfortunately, a lot of tattoo artists just suck at business and they're flaky. And so they typically are trying to do everything themselves. They're not getting back to people, or they're pushing people off just because they're so unorganized. They don't have somebody helping them with booking or communication or anything. So yes, I think that's a very common occurrence of what happens with people and not getting their shit finished, because I've heard it many times.
And the other thing that I see sometimes, but not too often, is we'll obtain a quote for somebody for a piece. They end up going somewhere else to get that piece. It might be because it was cheaper, but then they come back saying they did it wrong. Can you fix it? A lot of times, some tattoos cannot be fixed, and it might be more optimal to cover up that tattoo and then do it correctly somewhere else. So there is several different scenarios in which you would seek another artist. Is there any other instances regarding?
I mean, I think there's a lot. You mean when it would be okay for the client to do it? Yeah. I mean, there's a lot, right? There's a lot of different scenarios. Somebody could be being inappropriate with the client, or maybe the person is just a dick, or you know what I'm saying. I guess there's a lot of unprofessionalism in that category. There could be several different things, or even people that are dirty. They see them doing cross contaminating, or somebody who's getting intoxicated during the tattoo. Like I've heard that one too. So
So let's go back to somebody taking either the design or just the line work and having it completed elsewhere. As an artist, how are you to know that that is the scenario? Or do we just, serve the client as they request?
I mean, obviously, we're hoping that people are just honest. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I mean, ultimately, we don't know because it's not like we know somebody we just met very well, and I mean, there's not, can't really
Yeah,
avoid that completely.
hmm But as far as Lucky Bamboo Tattoo, you as an artist and our artist here, would you say that you're comfortable completing other pieces?
Yeah, I've done it a lot. I guess I gauge it on how much I can do with it. If it's something that is so far gone that I don't want to put my name on it,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Then that's a concern for me because they're
Because you
gonna.
would have to redo what was already there to then match your complete
Well,
style.
yeah, and I mean, just maybe it's too difficult to have it be, a big improvement, and then people are telling people that I did it,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then I don't want
You
to.
don't want to have to specify, and you can't really specify that this portion is yours,
Yeah.
this portion is not yours. Very interesting. Well, this is an interesting topic. Was there anything else you'd like to add on this topic?
No, I don't think so. Other than I think that a lot of that stems from, or the key point here is taking the time to research the artist and not just their work, but I mean, these days there's so many platforms and reviews that they can consider. So I think just not making quick decisions and getting work done, because I mean that's typically what it all stems from, is just a quick poor decision.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Well, interesting. Thank you so much for your time on this topic, and I do appreciate your input.
thank you.